Alright, so let's continue on our SAT past question solving. So this question, the world's population has grown at an average rate of 1.9% per year since 1945. There were approximately 4 billion people in the world in 1975. Which of the following functions represent the world's population P in billions of people T years since 1975? Alright. Anytime you come across this kind of question, this is exponential growth question. All right. When you hear population growing at an average rate of so and so percent per year, this is exponential growth. All right. And the formula for exponential growth is PT equals P naught times 1 plus R all to the power of T. So in this formula, what does PT signify? Where PT is the population at time T, all right? Then P naught is the initial population, of course, at time 0. Then R is the annual growth rate, and this is usually in decimal. Your R is usually in decimal. Then T is the number of years, all right? The number of years since the initial time, So let's go back to the question. According to this question, we have our rate, our R is 1.9%, all right? So our R is 1.9%. So to convert 1.9% to decimal, that will be 1.9 divided by 100. So that will be 0.019. Okay. Then what else do we have? We have 4 billion people. 4 billion people. So that is our P naught. Our P naught is 4 billion. So just write P naught equals to 4. So what will our 1 plus R be? It will be 1 plus 0.019. 1 plus 0.019 is simply 1.019. So if we substitute all this in our formula, PT will be equals to 4 times 1 plus R is 1.019, then to the power of T. And this is the expected answer. So looking at our options, we can see clearly that option A is the correct answer. Now, there is a question that we need to ask. How are we going to know if this kind of question is exponential or linear? Because for questions on population in SAT, there are 2 forms. If the question was linear, the formula would have been PT equals P naught plus the annual increase times time. Annual increase times time, which is T. So if it is linear, this would have been the formula. But since it is exponential, that was why we used this. So the question is, how do I recognize a question that is linear and the one that is exponential? I'd already given hints while I was explaining the other time, but let me give further hints. All right, first of all, look at the structure, the formula structure. So if you check these options, you are going to see that option A and B are exponential, while they give us distractors. Option C and D, these are distractors. All right, check the formula structure of your options. It has to give you hint. Then number 2, look at the growth rate. If the growth rate is given in percentage, like in this one now, they told us that it is increasing, all right, at a percentage of 1.9% per year. That is exponential. A percentage implies that the increase in proportion to the current value is added to the next year. So if the growth is given as a fixed amount, then it is linear. If it is fixed, it is linear. But if it is given in percentage, it is exponential. And you don't use it as percentage, you use it as decimal. So you have to divide by 100. That's it. So you must understand the word. That's another thing. So when the population grows by a constant amount each year, that is linear. But when it grows at a rate of R%, that is exponential. So we move to 28. In the xy plane above, a point not shown with coordinate s, t. So we're given two coordinates, s, t, lies on the graph of the linear function f. If s and t are positive integers, what is the ratio of t to s? So looking at the point here, we are given 3, 6. So this implies that the value of s is 3 and the value of t is 6. So the ratio of t to s will be 6 over 3. That is 2 over 1. So the answer is 2:1. And the answer is C. So let's move to question 29. 29. Okay. A circle in the xy plane has equation x plus 3 all squared plus y minus 1 all squared equals to 25. Which of the following points does not lie in the interior of a circle? So the first thing we need to identify is the equation of a circle. How do we write the equation of a circle? Very important. All right. The equation of a circle in the xy plane is given as x minus h all squared plus y minus k all squared equals to r squared. So this is the equation of a circle in the xy plane. So from this equation, our hk, all right, represents the center of the circle, and r, this r here, represents the radius. So what do you need to do? This general form of the equation, you equate it with the given equation. So let's do that quickly. We have the general form like this, plus y minus k all squared equals to r squared. So you compare it with the given equation, y minus 1 all squared equals to 25. Okay, so by comparison, we can see clearly that h is going to be minus 3 and k is going to be 1. Are we together? So it shows that the center of the circle, which is h comma k, equals negative 3 comma 1. But now they ask a question: which of the following points does not lie in the interior of the circle. How do you know when a line lies in the interior of a circle? A point lies in the interior of a circle if the distance from the center to the point is less than the radius. So if this whole stuff at the left hand side is less than the radius, then we know that it lies in the center. But if it is greater than the radius, we know that it does not lie in the interior of the circle. Saying the general form of equation of a circle in the x plane is this: x minus y x minus h all squared plus y minus k all squared equals to r squared, where h comma k represent the center of the circle and r is the radius. So if you compare this with the given equation, you are going to see that negative h equals to 3, and therefore h equals to what? Negative 3. And if you compare this with this, you are going to see that negative k equals to negative 1 and k equals to 1. So the center of this circle will be what? Negative 3 comma 1. And of course your r square equals to 25. Now the main thing in this question says, which of the following point does not lie in the interior of the circle? How do you know if a point lies in the interior of a circle? A point lies in the interior of the circle if the distance from the center is less than the radius. So what we are simply saying is, if x plus 3 all squared plus y minus 1 all squared is less than 25, which is the radius. Alright, so simply what we are going to do is test these options one after the other. So pick A. This is x comma y. So we have x, that's minus 7 plus 3 all squared plus y is 3 minus 1 all squared is less than 25. Minus 7 plus 3 is what? That's minus 4 all squared plus 3 minus 1, that is 2 squared, less than 25. So minus 4 all squared is what? 16 plus 2 squared, 4, less than 25. 16 plus 4 is 20. 20 is less than 25. So option A lies in the interior. So let's test for option B. Option B is negative 3 comma 1. Negative 3 comma 1. So we have negative 3 comma 1. So this is our x, this is our y. So we have negative 3 plus 3 all squared plus y, that is 1 minus 1 all squared, less than 25. Negative 3 plus 3 is 0 squared plus 1 minus 1 is 0 squared, less than 25. 0 is less than 25. So B also lies in the interior of the circle. So we have 0 comma 0. Of course, this one that is 0 comma 0, let's test it. 0 comma 0, we have 0 plus 3 all squared plus 0 minus 1 all squared, less than 25. 0 plus 3 is 3. 3 squared is 9 plus 0 minus 1 is minus 1. Minus 1 all squared is 1, less than 25. 10 is less than 25. Therefore, option C is also correct. It lies in the interior. So let's test for option D, which is 3 comma 2. Option D is 3 comma 2. This is x, this is y. So we have 3 plus 3 all squared plus 2 minus 1 all squared, less than 25. 3 plus 3 is 9. 9 squared plus 2 minus 1 is 1 squared, less than 25. 9 squared is 81 plus 1, and this is 82, less than 25. This is not true. Why? Because 85 is greater than 25. Therefore, the answer we are looking for is option D. that is the point that does not lie in the interior of the circle, because it is not less than the radius, it is greater than the radius. Alright, question 30. The manager of an online news service received the report above on the number of subscriptions sold by the service. The manager estimated that the percent increase from 2012 to 2013 would be double the percent increase from 2013 to 2014. Okay, how many subscriptions did the manager expect would be sold in 2014? Interesting perspective. Okay, so looking at this question, in 2012 we have 5,600 subscriptions, and in 2013 we have 5,880 subscriptions. So let's calculate the increase in subscription. Increase in sub will be 5,880 minus 5,600. This is 280. All right, so percentage increase will now be 280 over 5,600 times 100, and this is going to give us 5%. Now, so the percentage increase between 212 to 213 is 5%. Now, according to the question, the manager estimated that the percent increase from 212 to 213 would be double the percent increase from 213 to 214. That shows that if the percent increase from 212 to 213 is 5%, then percent increase from 213 to 214 will be 5 divided by 2, 2.5%, because the question already said it would be double the increase from 2013 to 2014. So the increase in 2012 to 2013 is double the increase in 2013 to 2014. Do you get? So from there, how do we now get the expected subscription? So that is going to be 2.5% of 5,880. That's the expected increase in subscription. 2.5 over 100, that is 0.025, multiplying 5,880, that will be 147. So the total number of subscriptions expected will be 5,880. That was the last increase they had, plus 147, and that will give us 6,027. And so the answer here is option B. Alright, question 31. In 1854, during the California gold rush, each ounce of gold was worth $20. So the price of 1 ounce is $20. And the largest known mass of gold found in California was worth $62,400. Okay, so the mass, $62,400 in that year. What was the weight in pounds of this mass of gold? So first of all, we need to know what the ounce is. So if 1 ounce is $20, X ounce will be equals to these dollars. So X ounce will now be 62,400 divided by 20. That will give us 3,120 ounces. So this 3,120 ounces is what we are going to convert to pounds. 16 ounces equals to 1 pound. So 3,120 ounces will be 3,120 over 16, and that is 195 pounds. This is the expected answer. All right, so let's move to question 32. Look at this graph. Line T is shown in the XY plane below. All right, so look at the graph given to us. They say, what is the slope of line T? This is line T. What is the slope? So basically, don't forget that slope, which is M, is change in Y over change in X. That is Y2 minus Y1 over X2 minus X1. So we are simply going to be using any of these combinations. So I'm going to be picking 9,3/5, which is this, and this, and 5/2, -2. You can pick this and this, or you pick this and this. So this will be your x1, y1. This will be your x2, y2. So your slope becomes, what is y2? -2 minus y1 over x2. That is 5/2 minus x1. So this is what we are going to solve. -2 minus -3/5. That will be -13/5 if you convert to improper fraction, divided by, this is 2 times 9, that is 18. 5 minus 18, that is -13. We have -13/5. So we have -13/5, -13/2 rather. So -13/5 times 2 over -13. 13 will cancel 13, and our answer is 2/5. So the slope of this graph, of this line, is 2/5. Next question. All right, let's move to question 33. The score on a trivia game is obtained by subtracting the number of incorrect answers from twice the number of correct answers. Okay. So, if I is the number of incorrect answers and C is the number of correct answers, so the score is obtained by subtracting the number of incorrect from twice the correct. So 2C minus I. All right. If a player answered 40 questions and obtained a score of 50, okay, a score of 50, how many questions did the player answer correctly? So if a player answered 40 questions, it means both the correct and the incorrect are equals to 40 questions. So this question has given us a system of equations, simultaneous. All right, this is equation 1, this is equation 2. So how many questions did the player answer correctly? We have to find C in this equation. So basically we can add equation 1 and 2, because here we have minus I, here we have plus I. So if we are adding equation 1 and 2, 2C plus C equals to 3C, 50 plus 40 equals to 90. So C equals to 90 divided by 3, and that is 30. So the answer is 30. 30 questions were answered correctly. So let's move to the next question, which is question 34. We have this circle and a sector. Point C is the center of the circle above. What fraction of the area of the circle is the area of the shaded portion? Interesting. All right, the area of the shaded portion is a sector. Yeah, this is a sector. Sector is the area bounded by 2 radii. What is a radius? A line that goes from the center of the circle to any part of the circumference. So basically, what you are expected to do here is central angle of shaded portion all over total degrees in a circle. So since we are dealing with what fraction of the area of the circle is the area of the shaded portion, so it's going to be area of the shaded portion over area of the circle. But here you are not required to use pi r square or theta over whatever. So since they already gave you 100 degrees to be the angle subtended by this sector, so the area of the shaded portion here, we are going to use 100 over the area of the whole circle, which is 360 degrees in this case. It's just like when you are dealing with a pie chart, the sectorial angles will sum up to 360. So 100 over 360 will definitely give you, this is 10 over 36, okay, 2 here 5, 2 here, this is 18, so that is 5 over 18. So this is the answer. Question 35. We have y equals x squared minus 4x plus 4, and we also have y equals 4 minus x. So call this equation 1 and call this equation 2. The question says, if the ordered pair x, y satisfies the system of equations above, what is one possible value of x? Okay. So basically, since y equals equation 1 and y also equals equation 2, equate 1 and 2, so that we have x squared minus 4x plus 4 equals to 4 minus x. So we have x squared minus 4x plus 4. Transfer all the terms on the left to the right equals to 0. So this is x squared. This plus 4 cancel minus 4. Minus 4x plus x, that is minus 3x equals to 0. Factor out x. You have x minus 3 equals to 0. So x equals to 0, or x minus 3 equals to 0. So here x equals to 3. So the possible value of x is 3. Alright, question 36. We have a trig problem, trigonometry. In the figure above, tan B equals 3 over 4. If BC equals 15 and DA equals to 4, what is the length of DE? Now, like I always say, SAT questions are not difficult, but technical. So let's take our time to analyze tan B, this angle. Now, the trigonometric definition of tan is opposite over adjacent, all right? But if you look at angle B, we have two opposites to angle B. So we don't know whether we should follow triangle BED or triangle BCA. So it shows that we have two scenarios to analyzing tan B. So let's draw out each case. This is case 1. Let's draw it out. Okay. Then we have our angle B, angle D, and angle E. This is case 1. Then case 2, the longer one. Yeah. So this is angle B, this is angle A, this is angle C. So these are the two possible cases. So opposite over adjacent. So since this is angle B, opposite to this angle will be 3. So now, since we are dealing with ratio, because this is 3 over 4, you can put a constant term, let's say 3k, and this is 4k. Because in ratio, when we say 3 over 4, we are not saying that the exact value is 3. We are not saying that the exact value here is 4. So it could be 3 times something, because this is actually ratio, not the exaction of value. So AC, this is also opposite over adjacent. Okay. But then for this second diagram, we have an additional information. The question says if BC equals to 15, so this place is 15, and DA equals to 4, so here is 4. What is the value of DE? So DE in the first diagram. So let's deal with the second diagram first of all. If you observe, this is a right angle triangle, and in a right angle triangle, 15 square is usually 3k square plus 4k square. What did you observe? According to Pythagoras triple, 5 square equals to 3 square plus 4 square. This is Pythagoras triple. So we can apply this to get the actual values that are supposed to be here. Alright? So what do we do in that case? So since 5, 3, 4 is Pythagoras triple, we just look at this. What does it take for 5 to become 15? That is 3. 5 times 3 will give us 15. So it means that we need to multiply each of these by 3. So if I'm multiplying 3 by 3, this angle here will be 9. And this angle here will be 4 times 3, that is 12. Okay, so let's test if our analysis is correct. You know that in every right angle triangle, the square of the hypotenuse must be equal to the sum of the squares of the 2 other sides containing the right angle. So basically, our left hand side must be equal to our right hand side. So let's check. 15 square is what? 225. 9 square is what? 81. And 12 square is what? 144. So we have 225 equals to, add 81 and 144. What do you have? 225. So you can see that left hand side is equals to right hand side. So this is actually correct. So now that we know the values of BA, let's go back to our original diagram, the one given to us. So we can safely say that BA from here to here is 12. But they already gave us from here to this place to be 4. So how do we get BD? So that will be 12 minus 4, that is 8. So here to here is 8. Alright? So if here to here is 8, coming back to this first diagram, it means that 8 equals to 4k. So what will k be here? For 8 to be equals to 4k, it shows that k is 2. Because 4 times 2 will give you 8. So if k equals to 2, it shows that this will now be 3 times 2, which is 6. So the value of DE is 6. Don't forget, the question says what is the length of DE? So DE equals to 6 units. That is the answer to this problem. So let's check the next question. Okay, that is actually our last question. Thank you.